Howdy everybody, welcome to episode 30. Welcome to the beginning of the end.
All downhill from here.
It's all downhill from here. Rapid unscheduled discussions. I am of course your host Seth Kurkowski, and with me as always, the one who has the most experience being 30 and over, Daryl Sausse.
Ouch!
I don't know. I might give him a run for his money.
See, I'll be honest. I don't know how old anyone is in the space community. I just know I'm the youngest. So, other than John's the only one who beats me with being younger, and which I'm actually upset with that because he makes so much.
Get off my lawn, Seth. Yes, I am Daryl Sausse, and joining us tonight, not the founder of Next Horizon Space Flight. You know him as the host of Pressing for Flight Thursday nights. Great show. All of them great friends of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Marr.
Yay!
Yay! That's me. We still need that canned applause track.
If Kegel was here, if only Kegel was here,
I need to know what he uses. I need to figure out how to do it because I need.
It's just like I'm pretty sure it's not a physical board. I don't think. I think he's got the multiple monitors going on. He just has like a soundboard.
Oh, yeah, that's what I need pretty much. I just need something that.
You just go find it. Like, remember those back in the day, like in the early 2000s or something like that, just like a Simpson soundboard. Yeah, like a Simpson soundboard or Futurama had one. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, just go find one of those.
There's a fart track app that I used to use.
There was a Jack Black one that I used to call my work. I was working at Papa John's at the time, and I called him. And
you jumped ship? Wow,
dude, I'm loyal to one thing: pizza.
All right, yeah. Same here.
Yes,
pizza and rockets, and rockets and risoblides. Harry, rockets and risoblides.
Oh God, I wish that would have gone through just now. Because I found when I heard it in my headphones, I'm like, wait, tell me that went through.
I used to. There was a Jackass one, which was great, but I couldn't use it in school because it was severely inappropriate for being in a Christian school.
Oh yeah.
I was just watching because I'm addicted to TikTok, like the rest of girls in the world right now. Though I'll be honest, Hank Green. You know Hank Green?
Who? Hank Green?
Hank Green?
No.
From Sideshow? You know Sideshow? Sideshow Space?
I remember Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob.
Okay, well he's like the greatest of he started VidCon. He's the founder of VidCon.
Okay.
So
he's
he's been in the industry for a while. He has a TikTok and it's great.
I thought they shut down TikTok.
Legally they can't do it.
Okay, I didn't think so. It sounded crazy when someone told me, they shut down TikTok in the U.S. Like,
no,
what?
They did not. But there was a Jackass thing that popped up. They were doing duck hunting. You know, like the big blob that they would have like on the lake that someone would set on the end, and then someone would jump off at the beginning of it, and they would go like 20 feet in the air. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like summer camp. You guys ever went to summer camp when you were kids?
I know the one you're talking about.
Okay, they did that, and as the person were flying 20 feet in the air, they had people in canoes with paintballs shooting the guy. And I saw that.
And that was in one of the movies.
Yeah,
not one of the episodes. It was one of the movies.
It was a snippet from the movie, and I'm like, yes, I wanted.
Those movies are great. You'd never see those made again these days.
No, you can't. No.
Nope.
No one will let that happen.
See, Zach Hall said a few more weeks unless a U.S. company buys it. I don't know if that means it's going to be shut down. We're talking about TikTok.
I still don't think they have the.
It's like they're going under.
Microsoft was in talks to buy it, and I think Twitter expressed an interest in it, but they've all fallen through.
I mean, if Twitter touched it, TikTok's dead.
So
anything Twitter touches, especially the current CEO. I mean, he fucked up Vine, so
I tell you what, Twitter needs to touch an edit button and finish it and give it to everybody.
Yeah, Twitter, finish your fucking app. Add an edit button.
I don't think it's coming, y'all.
No, it's not.
I think the only way that it would work is if they gave you like a 5-minute window to edit. Mm-hmm. But think about like what people use Twitter for. It's a lot of it is to advertise things. It's for like and for officials and political people and CEOs of companies and stuff to disseminate information. And they don't want you to be able to go back the next day and edit something and be like, yep, see, I didn't say that.
I would do like a 5-minute window or like a 1-minute window, because most of the mistakes I find it's like literally within like as soon as I hit tweet, and I'm like, dang it, I used the wrong there.
Yeah.
Even if you edit it, the internet never forgets. And then it really does. The original copy is stored somewhere. You can find it.
True.
Listen, the cloud is just another person's computer. All right.
And then what they could do is they could put the little just like in on Reddit, anytime you edit a comment, it always says edited, and then you could hit that, and then you could see the original.
Oh, really?
And be like, well, no, I'm not on Reddit. I'm saying that could be a thing. If a tweet had been edited.
Facebook shows you that. Are you able to see the original one on Facebook?
I think so.
I don't know about that. I know Discord has the same thing, but you can't see the original. Well, I think admin can, but
oh, okay.
I think that's it. You can go through like change logs, which is weird. I did it once. I didn't like it. It felt weird.
Are we supposed to talk about what we're drinking?
What are you drinking there, Steven?
Well, it turns out that Sam Adams Oktoberfest is back, baby.
Oh my God! It's already October.
It's October for the next 3 months.
It might as well be. There's already Halloween candy out too.
Remember,
I saw somebody wearing a Halloween horror.
I have Stella cider.
Stella cider.
The cider that looks close enough to beer when it's poured out of a tap, so I don't get made fun of for not drinking beer at a baseball game.
I am very unfancy. I am back to my kickball beer, Miller High Life, baby.
High Life, yeah.
Terrible.
Oh yeah.
Well, if I run out of Oktoberfest, I still have Miller Lite in the fridge.
Hey, that works too.
I still got a massive bottle of red, white, and berry from Smirnoff.
You gotta save that for next July, man.
Yeah, no, it's a July only drink. July and if there's a bottle at my brother's bar in his basement for New Year's.
Like the bottle won't open any other month of the year.
Yeah, no, no, it's not allowed to be opened. Though.
So we gotta let Harry know what Halloween is.
Oh, Harry! Australia. Halloween is where a bunch of usually it's a bunch of small children dress up in costumes that run around the neighborhood and ask for candy. But
what do the adults do?
And sometimes there's some adults who do it, and they try to get candy, and they just look pathetic.
Well, I was one of those adults one year. Let me tell you a story. Pull up a chair.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, 22, 23. I had this girlfriend that was really good at talking me into doing things that I didn't necessarily want to do, but she was so pretty, and I was just.
We've all had those. We've all been through it.
And she really wanted to go trick or treating this year, and I was like, really? I mean, we're kind of a little old for that. She's like, no, it'll be fun. It'll be so much fun. Don't be a bump on a log.
How old were you?
I was 22 or 23.
Okay,
she was like 20.
Yeah, that's definitely too old.
Yeah. And so we were going trick or treating, and it only took us about 3 or 4 houses in before finally someone just said, "Aren't you a little old for this?" And I was like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done. We're going home."
You should have made a bet with her how long it would take, how many houses it would take before somebody said it.
And I had a beard.
No one.
Not allowed to trick or treat with a beard.
Yeah, that's like a rule. Like if you have a beard, you're disqualified from getting to go trick or treat.
But it's like, isn't Halloween one of those things that like gets better with age? Because you go trick or treating and getting candy as a kid, and then you go to progressively better parties as you get older.
Right.
And then when it's nothing but adults at a party just doing whatever, especially if you're single. It's like the best party ever.
See, I'm waiting for that to start because when I went to the wrong college for parties. I'll be honest.
You're in the wrong city too.
So, well, no, that's the reason why I went to UFC, not UFC, so UCF for parties because we were just down the road from UCF. But no, Full Sail University, we have a college bar, and this is how nerdy of a school it is. The college bar.
Did you say Full Sail?
Full Sail. Full Sail. All right.
Okay, yeah, I know Full Sail.
Yeah. So our college bar was across the street from the campus. By day, it was a comic book shop. By night, it was a karaoke bar.
Oh, nice.
It was a really cool concept, but not a place. If you like, I walked in there. I'm like, I think I'm the only person who was able to play sports in high school.
Like traditional jock style sports,
I
or
played
like
football, and I felt like I was the most masculine person there, and I'm sitting there doing homework at a bar, and I felt like I was the most masculine person there still. Like, that's how interesting our bar was. So I went down to UCF and found the house parties. Those were much better. Actually, most house parties happened down near us because that's where the houses were.
There's nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong with, high school football. I went to all the games. Of course, I was in the band, so I kind of had to be there. So.
Yeah. I played in middle school. I played middle school.
Hey, I was drum major my senior year. That's no small feat.
Here's a story about my freshman year of high school. Right, I played 2 years of tackle football, 7th and 8th grade, and before that, I played 4 years of flag football. Before that. I came in.
Flag football, yeah.
Flag football was, I'll be honest, flag football is more difficult than tackle football because you have to grab the flag.
Actually,
You can't just hit them as hard as you can and have them fall over.
Right.
But I walked in, and we had, so in Wisconsin, I'm not sure how it is in other states, but you have, I believe it's 5 contact days before the season, which sounds terrible, but it's 5 days that the coaches can actually can conduct a preseason practice.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it all has to be led by the players. So you have like captain's practices, like whatever. But you have 5 days.
But the coach tells you have to.
Yeah,
you better get out there for that captain's practice.
In our case, the coaches can observe, but they can't physically can't get involved. But no one listened to that rule. It was always, we had like hundreds of contact days. But those 5, 2 days and whatnot. The defensive coordinator loved me. I was a freshman coming in. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna be varsity. You're gonna be." I was killing it. You should see pictures of me in high school. I was not as fat as I am now. All right.
MySpace.com/
Oh no! It's Facebook.
I was.
It's Facebook. I went and looked them up.
I was after MySpace, my man. I'm sorry. I was MySpace.
Oh, that's my history. That's right.
Yeah,
that's our history.
Yeah. AOL.com.
Hey, I had AIM.
God.
I had AIM.
Yeah.
All right.
I had the real deal AOL, man. Like we
The one where they send you a disc like every other day in the mail.
It's even though we already had it.
I did have that. I did when I was very young. We did have it. We did have that, but I don't really remember.
7,000 free hours.
Like my parents were very behind on getting the newest technology. Like it was bad. But yeah, I broke. But like after the 5 days of practice, and the coach was like, all loving me. He knew my name. I was the only freshman who knew who he like remembered his name. I go on the last day of summer lifting. We're doing literally it's games. Like there's 3 stations. 2 of them are games, like kickball, and then another version of kickball, and then one's an actual workout. And the workout's like somersaults, pretty much. Like it's a weird workout. It's called mat drill. It's a weird workout, but it consists of somersaults. Landed on my shoulder, broke my collarbone, like in twain, like this.
Oh, in twain.
Had to get surgery. I come back from surgery finally. Coach forgot my name. And I had him for another 3 more years. He didn't even care about me. Like, well,
you're like an injured horse.
I was an injured horse. No one cared about me for the rest of the next 3 years.
Like I thought they shot you.
How are you still here? Like, you just didn't you die? Like. So Steven, last time we had you on was episode 3, I believe.
Yeah. Now it's 10 times more.
So something like that. That was back in like February, I think.
Yeah. Sure.
And that was you were doing you got accredited with the Air Force a bunch, but you were your first time being accredited with NASA.
Yeah. That was
Horizons.
Yep. That was for CRS 20.
Oh yeah, that was the final CRS one, right? Until the next contract.
Right. Yeah.
How's it been going since then? Like, how's Next Horizons going? How's photography doing? How's all that stuff going?
Well, it's great. I mean, Next Horizons, I feel like has really made a pretty good name for itself. You know, I mean, the Next Horizons, when I first got with Matt Cutshall is actually the founder, y'all. The reason
I don't
that
think
he
Matt's
said
here,
it,
so you can be the founder today. It's fine.
yeah, I don't think he is, because I see my Facebook messages popping up and he's talking about other stuff, so he's not in the chat. So I started Next Horizons. No, it got its start as a Facebook page, and whenever I got with him, like he was already off to the races, like 6,000-7,000 followers on Facebook, and I was like, well, let's start working on the Twitter, because he had an account but didn't really do much with it, and so now it's doing pretty good. It's up over 1,000 followers. I mean, the most important thing is, we are able to get in with every launch. Like I feel like I've got a pretty good relationship with the media chief for the Air Force. That's Jim Williams, if anybody doesn't know.
He's super cool.
That's kind of one of those, kind of where you want to be, like when you're getting into this stuff. If you want to be media and you want to cover these launches, you want to have a good relationship with the gatekeepers, basically. Lucky for us, for everybody in the media pool, Jim is an awesome dude. He really loves these launches, and he loves the people that love the launches. But yeah, man, I mean, there's not been too many launches that either I've missed or Next Horizons has missed in general. With the whole COVID thing, it's been kind of a bummer, because a lot of these launches, they're only letting one person per outlet in, and that usually means that it's me, because I have the pizza delivery job and my schedule is flexible. But Matt and I have worked it out where, like, if it's a launch that's going to be on the weekend, then he can take it, because he's got more of a traditional 9-to-5 job, and so he'll go and do remotes. And then like for Perseverance, I went ahead and set a remote for him. It's not my favorite thing to do. Don't everybody start calling me and being like, hey, will you set my remote? But because I like to focus, I like to be able to focus, on one. But for close friends and stuff that really need some help, like I've set remotes for Julia before. But well, yeah, speaking of Perseverance, that was only the second time ever getting accepted by NASA as media. And that was pretty awesome, because I got to go out to the gantry for the first time and see rollout, which it was kind of far away, but just being able to be there,
As in like the LC-39 gantry?
Yeah. It's the first time I've ever been there.
Did you get to have like your actual cameras, like big lenses out there, or no?
Oh yeah. Okay. I did a time lapse of it rolling out to the pad.
That's a killer spot for launches. I'm not gonna lie, because up until recently, that's it. Whenever it was available, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
And it's killer, man.
It's a great spot. I would love to watch a launch from there. Which it's kind of funny, because it's the LC-39 viewing gantry, but I don't think you can watch a launch if it's from 39A, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
No,
yeah, it's way
probably
too
not
close.
I really wish you could, but
yeah, me too.
You would probably die.
It feels when you're standing up there, it feels like the pad is like a half mile away.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's a mile and a half, but it seems like you're so close.
Well, if press sight's 3.5, if NASA press is 3.5, then it's probably about a half mile.
Most of the way. Yeah, it's like most of the way there.
If you're watching a SpaceX launch from 40 from the gantry, it's better than press. And sometimes even Atlas launches you can watch from there, depending on what the winds are doing. Which sometimes I think they're full of crap.
You can't.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to see the Solar Orbiter launch earlier this year from there, and at the time I still didn't have a good Atlas picture, and they canceled everybody's tickets, saying,
we're gonna bro out so hard with Solar Orbiter. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be Daryl on 39A gantry, and then canceled.
Then they canceled it, and then I said, screw this, I'm going to Virginia to see an Antares launch.
That was the fall of your entire week.
That was a hell of a week. We've revisited that week enough on this show. I'm good.
No, I always love revisiting it, because it just shows. It's just so fun to talk about.
I did so much driving that week.
This week.
Yeah. Well, I remember you being up at Wallops, and then not getting to see the launch. So like you didn't get to see any of the launches, did you?
Nope.
No.
He also didn't get to
I ended
go
up
to
seeing
NASA
something.
Social he almost could have gotten to either.
Can I tell my story, please? So
it's our story at this point.
no, it's definitely mine.
No, it's ours.
So the social for state of NASA happened. I got waitlisted originally, then I got off of the wait list. And the whole time I was still trying to figure out what was going on with the viewing for Solar Orbiter. And there was talk about canceling the gantry. And then Antares was happening like the next day or 2 days later or something like that. So that was my backup plan. And when they canceled it, I said, all right, I'm going up to Virginia. Yeah. Well, the next morning was the state of NASA. Excuse me. And I got accepted to the social at Stennis Space Center in Mississippi, where Jim Bridenstine was going to be speaking at.
Oh.
And I turned it down.
He's the only person I've ever met to turn down a social.
One, it wasn't a launch, which is primarily what I do. I photograph launches.
Yeah.
Now I write, but
the NASA social for State of NASA was great because you didn't have to worry about it being a launch. Like you didn't have to worry about it. You just got to go there and just enjoy walking around Kennedy Space Center.
It was a 17-hour drive. It was physically impossible for me to make that drive. Yeah. Because the launch was less than 17 hours before the social would have started. So there was no way I was making it.
Wait, was it? No, I thought it was the same night. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was the day before, then it got scrubbed to Saturday.
It got scrubbed to Friday. This was on a Sunday when it was going to launch. It got scrubbed to a Friday.
So Orbital launched Sunday night.
Yeah.
I remember going to hang.
I watched that launch from a hotel in Delaware.
Yeah, because I remember talking to what's his name?
I know.
What's the guy?
It gets worse.
The guy at Spaceview. I just was gonna say the name, but it's not that name. You know,
the 321 guy.
321 guy. Yeah. I want to go meet him and talk with him. What? I don't remember his name. Steven,
I still don't know who you're talking about.
I don't remember
it's the guy. I don't remember his name either, but it's the guy that petitioned to get the area code for this area to change to 321.
Yeah.
I want to know, like.
I knew about that even before I got into this stuff from a guy I used to work with at the phone company.
Yeah. Well, what's his name then?
Huh? No, he ended up taking a position here when they forced him out over there. And he told me he used to live in Titusville. He would go like right out on his front lawn, turn right, and watch the shuttle launch all the time. Like, oh, there it goes. Okay, done.
Nope. Like, 321 launch is so not casual a space website. What the hell, 321 launch?
So, anyway, for that week, I'm piddling around in Charlotte, North Carolina, where my best friend and his wife live, and I go back up to Virginia. I think it was like Friday morning, something like that. And on the way, I hear about a Starlink launch the very next morning. So I'm like, let me chart this out. 13 hours? Okay, I can make that drive. It'll be rough. I'm not going to get any sleep, but I can make that drive from Virginia to Kennedy Space Center for a Starlink launch. I figure I'm out of town. I'm taking in as much as I can.
Yeah. So
the Antares scrubs one more day, and I find out on the way Starlink scrubs one day, and then 2 days. I said, you know what, screw it. I'm done chasing this one. I start driving down the next morning. Oh, no, wait. I start making my way back down, stop in North Carolina for the night to sleep, and I realized I left my suitcase with all my clothes and stuff at my buddy's house in Charlotte.
No!
Yeah. So I have to backtrack over to Charlotte in the morning.
Well, okay, so Charlotte, that's not that far. What was that, a couple hours?
Yeah,
from where?
That was like an extra 2 or 3 hours.
Wait,
that wasn't bad.
Where were you when you found out?
Closer toward the coast of North Carolina, so it really wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Then I start making my way down, and Terry's goes up. I'm watching it. That's the one where they had that weird like teleconferencing issue where you hear a bunch of people talking and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I stopped for lunch. I'm like, all right, it's time to reserve a hotel. Sold out. Wait, what the hell? I start looking down like Daytona, Melbourne, 500. Orlando, Daytona. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I put it up on Twitter, and somebody's like, dude, didn't you? It's the Daytona 500 weekend. Duh. Everybody knows this.
Everybody.
No way. No chance of getting
It's the Super Bowl of motorsports.
Basically.
It happens at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So a friend of mine reached out to me, said,
when they have the World Championship in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So a friend of mine reached out to me, said, "Hey, come stay at my place for a couple of days," and was down there, saw Starlink launch, really great Starlink launch, got more great pictures out of it. I'm like, all right, I saw something launch. I'm getting my butt home. Because that was an epic week. It really was.
Man, that's so much driving. Like you talk about like 13 hours of driving with no sleep, man. That is, I can't.
And that's why you purchase 5-hour energies.
But
if
dude,
it's during the day, I'm good.
During the day is fine, but at a certain point, Red Bull, 5-hour energy, none of that stuff even helps because supposedly the way caffeine works is caffeine like plugs up a receptor that would otherwise be receiving chemicals to tell you to go to sleep. It's like it just quits working. Like
it's one of those things where
the chemicals already gotten in there, and it's like you're tired. You can't. The caffeine can't come in there and be like, "Hey, you sleepy chemical, get out of that receptor."
Now, one thing that I do use that is amazing is G Fuel. It's like energy supplements, but not as hardcore as the workout stuff. It's more like there's no caffeine, there's no taurine, and there's no sugar, so it's other stuff.
It's testosterone.
What was that stuff they outlawed for a while? It's like epinephrine.
I have no idea, but it's probably in there because
kids were taking it and having heart attacks because they were taking way too many of them.
Yeah,
it was something you could get at GNC, but people were taking too much of it.
I know this stuff. I thought you were about to say something like,
was it not
remember
creatine?
Stacker 3s?
It wasn't creatine, was it?
Oh.
No, not creatine.
Yeah.
I mean, epinephrine sounds right, but it may be
weird.
just similar.
Creatine's weird.
I thought that was perfectly normal. Like, I thought that was more like a...
if you take too much of it, then it can be bad. And
that's anything.
Yeah, but it's like it doesn't work until all of a sudden, oh my god, it's working. Like... It's like weeks of people saying, just keep doing it, it'll start working. And all of a sudden, you're just like, oh, I have all the energy in the world, and I want to work out right now.
I have the power!
And it's like, all of a sudden, my muscles are twice as big, and I didn't do anything different. I don't know what is happening right now, and I'm done.
Just taking it without even working out?
No, I was taking it. So I would take it during the summer and off season because it would be illegal for me to do it during the season.
Oh,
wow!
Because it technically would be considered a performance-enhancing drug. If I took it.
Oh, see, I thought that it was just one of those things that
not a performance-enhancing, but it's like you can't.
I thought it was like taking protein or something.
Yeah, because creatine is natural. Oh, welcome to the top, Stephen.
I'm back. I was here the whole time.
Hi.
I love it when that happens sometimes. Your internet just goes like, nope, and it goes to the bottom. No, creatine's like it's a natural thing, and so but taking creatine, if you don't take it properly, like I would take it. It would be I'll take it Monday, Wednesday. Like it would be like 3 days a week, and then I wouldn't take it the next week. And then the week after that, I'll take it again Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I wouldn't take it the next week.
I wonder
get my body used to that much creatine, because if you get your body used to large amounts of creatine in your body stops producing creatine.
Oh.
And then that's where you have to keep taking creatine.
You kind of have to taper off of it when you do want to stop taking it. Yeah, you can't get addicted
to it. Not addicted, but used to it.
It's a physical addiction, I think.
I did it one summer, and I was like, I did it for it was like 2 months. Well, like summer was like 3 months. What I took for the first 2 months, nothing. Third month, I'm also my muscles are twice as big, and I'm like, I have so much energy whenever I take this now. Let's go.
I wonder if they could use something like creatine as fuel and like solid rocket boosters or something like that. Just mix it in, give it some extra kick and whatnot.
Yeah, you mix it every so often, so it's also like you're rising like boost, boost.
Falcon beefy.
Yeah, or they're probably going to use that in the Ariane 6 that's coming out soon.
Falcon Swole.
Oh, yeah. Falcon Swole. Ariane Swole.
Yep. Speaking of Arianes.
Atlas Thick.
Oh my gosh. I feel bad
Atlas
for
heavy.
our listeners sometimes because they're like, the late night of space. What is this all about? Nothing about space.
Yeah.
90% of it's not about space.
Hey, come check out Pressing for Flight. We talk about space.
Yeah.
Pressing for Flight actually stays on topic too.
Yeah,
until I derail y'all in chat. I'm so sorry about that
we just
too.
copied what you did for a while. Then we're like, we want to be different. We'll be on the late night show of space, and we're not going to talk about the news unless we have nothing else to talk about. Then we'll talk about the news.
I feel bad a lot of times because it's like I don't shut up in chat, and then I distract y'all in chat and make y'all laugh about dumb shit.
Oh, I dig it.
Do you remember?
You do? Okay.
Do you remember the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson?
Yeah.
That's where I take most of my motivation. And he's a very much like, this show sucks. Like, welcome to the Late Night Show. No one's watching, but welcome to the show.
He's a big Doctor Who fan, by the way.
Daryl is Jeff.
Yeah, see, Becca said it's great. I love it.
Cool. Okay.
Wow, you got that before me, and I'm the first in host.
All right, then I'm gonna ramp it up.
Yeah, it's just good to have people in the chat. Honestly, it's great. It's great to always have you guys there.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
So speaking of Arians, over the weekend, Arian 5 finally launched. Yay! It was delayed from. It was delayed by like 2 weeks or something. They had to roll that thing all the way back to the building for a sensor. And
Oof.
that's
gotta be rough.
Probably a little bitty sensor.
I feel bad for the guy who installed that sensor.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, it's your fault, dude. No, yeah,
just like the person that installed that connection on the Electron, on that one little like wiring harness.
Was that an actual issue with someone connecting it, or was that a?
It's what it seemed like from what I read. It was like they found that like this one. It's in my mind. I'm picturing like a little wiring harness that isn't completely secured to whatever it's supposed to be plugged into.
My head takes. You ever built a PC before?
Yeah.
You know what the USB Type 3 plug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that's what's in my head. It's a USB 3 plug, and someone super glued it, and the super glue came off.
No, you know what was worse?
Something like that, yeah.
You know what was worse? Remember that proton explosion from a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, because they had it upside down?
The accelerometer was upside down. Yeah.
It was upside down. It was hammered into place.
Yeah, because it's like the way the holes are laid out, like it's very difficult to put it in there wrong, but someone did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a spectacular video.
Oh, it's a great. I'll be honest.
And there's so much footage from all these different angles too, man. And you've got footage of people like running. They're like, when they see that it's starting to tilt the wrong way, they start running, but then they turn around and look, and they're like, that's bad. Let's keep running. They're like, it's gonna explode. How far will this shock wave go? I don't know. I better keep going.
Dude, it went far too. Like that was a serious explosion.
I think that was the one where you hear it's gonna be loud.
Yeah.
After it blows up.
Yeah. There was that, and the old school Delta II from like '96 that made that beautiful plume.
That's my favorite.
Those are my two favorites.
To tell people when they talk about like, well, you guys aren't. How close are you guys? Like, well, they're pretty far. They learned their lesson when a Delta. When that thing exploded.
Yeah, they learned their lesson on that.
There were people who had to go tell their car insurance companies that their cars got destroyed by a rocket.
And then they said, turn on the news, and then they saw that, and then they're like, okay, I believe
no, shut
you.
up. All right, no, you're not a policy holder. Like, it's the newspaper. Oh, I think that's covered.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I rent from Lens Rentals, they have like the Lens Cap Plus rental thing, and it covers fire. And I'm always like, I wonder how far that goes. Like, where does fire end and explosion begin?
I mean, insurance companies, like, they've been asked about that stuff before, because I just got done listening to Riding Rockets again. And the guy who wrote it, Mike Mullane, there's a part in it where he talks about right before launch, he was taking care of paperwork, wills, and everything like that. And he wrote to 3 different insurance companies about, life insurance policy. And he got it in writing from them that, yes, death in a rocket explosion is covered. So they're not completely unfamiliar.
Well, that's life insurance. We're talking about rental insurance.
But I'm saying insurance in general is used to it.
And I would think a place like Lens Rentals they're pretty familiar with the launch photographers by now.
Yeah, I'm pretty, because I think one of the people actually came out to see a launch. And
yeah, was it like one of them in the NASA social?
I don't remember what it was, but I remember getting a text from someone who said, "Oh, by the way, you can get whatever you need. He'll bring it." And I'm like, "Well, thanks for telling me the day before the launch."
Right.
Because
Yeah.
there's no time.
It doesn't help.
Apparently, Harry is back from making tea and said that
Harry,
Bill
you're
Ingalls.
so British.
Bill Ingalls toasted a camera at a SpaceX launch once.
God.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw somebody. I can't remember who it was. That they had a GoPro or something like it set up at the Antares launch that blew up back in 2016,
15,
14.
Like
15,
yeah,
the same year as CRS-7.
Yeah,
anyway, like and it was recording as it came down, it fell down, explosion, everything, and then the fire starts creeping towards the camera and stops right before it gets to the camera. And so he's got all that footage, nothing was destroyed, and you're able to see that fire come creeping towards.
I'm going to look for that later.
It was cool. He showed it to me. It's somebody that's here local. I want to say maybe Mike Wagner, but I can't remember for sure. But it's somebody that shoots out here a lot. It's one of the old timers.
Yeah, remember? Well, John Krause's bags that were on.
Eggs.
Shut up, dude!
You're so Canadian.
I'm from Wisconsin. All right, we're not that far. We're just not as nice. All right.
That reminds me of like
nice, but we'll tell it to you straight. All right.
That reminds me of like in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, whenever Chief O'Brien would talk about playing darts, it was more like darts. With his Irish accent.
But the coverings that he had on his camera, there we go. How about that one? Like melted.
Melted to the melted.
So that's
to
why
the
I don't
camera
want to
body.
use bags for remotes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why
I'm
I
all
did
about the
buy.
box.
But I'm
all
not.
about the box.
I'm thinking about actually buying a Pelican.
What is that?
You know a Pelican box, Pelican case.
I mean, I know what a pelican bird is. Yes.
No, the Pelican, the case, at the camera, like the latched up. Those.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting one of those with a 1300 series because
those are a little too expensive.
The 1300 series. Well, the thing is, it shouldn't break. It's the Pelican.
True.
It's like and then you got to get like I saw someone I've been watching Daryl told me to look at like for wildlife photography.
Mm-hmm.
I think you told me that, but like trapping boxes, and some guy made a whole trapping box out of that. I'm like I just replace his laser trigger with a sound trigger, and it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you see the one going around recently where some guy in the woods came across somebody's camera box and started doing like weird poses for it and everything?
No.
I would totally do that. I would do that. I wonder how often that actually happens. Because they're built, like the cases that they build are meant to last like 3-4 days.
Oh yeah. They're serious.
And there's one that's I actually thought about reaching out to the company and be like, hey, so you think your boxes are really tough, eh? Why don't we
You're
throw
not
one?
Canadian, eh?
We say A in Wisconsin. We say howdy in Wisconsin and A.
You say bags.
Bags?
And bags.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
We like our poutine as well. Not as much as Canadians, but we do like poutine. We are the sole source of the cheese curds for poutine across all Canada. But I thought it's like the case.
Here's another one, Harry.
Yeah, the box like that they build is like built to last like almost like a week in the woods. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm like, it has a whole bunch of other stuff that
so it like comes with like batteries and stuff in it,
and it's all sealed off, and like it has like a hood that's all sealed in.
What?
So, yeah, it's insane.
I thought we had to like make these things ourselves.
The wildlife photographers have been doing this long before we.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Long before we have, and they've gone.
Yeah, but they didn't account for.
They didn't account for explosions.
Fire. Yeah.
I mean, but really the only thing, I mean, if a rocket explodes and your camera's there next to it, then you're kind of screwed for the most part.
Yeah, but if you put it if it's inside of a Pelican case and you have the right, if it's secured to it properly, it shouldn't be like it. You might be able to recover the lens, maybe,
Well, yeah, the lens is probably the most likely thing to go.
And the camera might be able to be salvaged of some sort. Like, it might not be perfect, but it might still work. Like,
if it gets something and the card survives,
there
you go.
Then it's good.
It's the only thing that matters is SD or CF card survives. That's all that matters.
But in real life, though, like, I don't really worry about them exploding on the pad. It's really the thing we worry about the most is the rain.
That's why I would go with a box rather than a bag, because there's so many people who have issues with bags still.
One of the issues when I first started doing remotes is I was using a garbage bag, and I would just, do my thing, and then I just tape it around the tripod legs. And one of the issues is, of course, once you tape it up, it's a huge pain to get back into there and like double check if you set the whatever right. You got the thing. Obviously, you could check to make sure that it's ready to fire. But what if you forgot to set your settings right or whatever? But the other thing was a couple of times I got back to my camera and it hadn't even rained, but there was moisture inside. So humidity was getting into the bag and had nowhere to escape to, and so it would just condense inside there, and there was water on the camera even though it hadn't rained.
That's why I think like all the NSF people, they have like fans inside their boxes or something. Like, they have something. Yeah, you have to have like ventilation through it.
I don't have any of that, but I do have holes.
You should definitely get like real, like small, cheap, like PC fans.
Right.
And mount those to the side, and then like put one in the front that blows in and one in the back that blows out. And then and then you got hooked up to a timer. I know like Daryl, not Daryl. Yeah, Daryl has nothing. He's stupid.
And I know a lot of
has like a whole bunch of like whole like timer system for this fans.
Right. He's I've heard he's got the best setup, and I know Matt has talked to him, and Matt's got a pretty good thing going inside his remote box. In fact, whenever I set it for him, I got to kind of see it. My only issue with Matt's was it was just it was small. He just needs to get a bigger one. But he's got the little fan. He's got the little. He's got the solar powered battery bank. He's got it like taped to the top so that it's kind of getting a little bit of charge as it's going, and it's plugged into the fan. So that's a good idea. It's just that I've done enough and had no problems that I'm just like, I just don't know if I need to change anything.
I think a lot of
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the whole building remotes is like, it's kind of fun to build something that's gonna last an explosion.
That's true.
And I think there's a lot of older photographers there that was probably a necessity to build a box.
That more often.
It probably was an actual, like when Falcon 9 started launching, that was probably an actual concern.
Right.
Is it going to launch?
Right.
So,
especially after Amos 6.
Yeah.
Which has caused all kinds of confusion this week because of the whole the 100th launch versus 100th mission, and
I didn't count that one wrong. What I was counting was what did I miscount? I didn't count as a mission. I didn't. No, I didn't count Amos as a mission because it didn't launch. It failed because I got confused. I'm like, wait, isn't Amos 17 the replacement for Amos 6? But it wasn't. Yeah. Amos 17 was a completely separate. Like, it wasn't.
It was free.
It was free.
I think they didn't charge him, but it's a different one. Yeah.
It was a different mission, so I didn't count that one, and so that's why I was like, wait, I'm getting 98. Like, I'm not getting 99 or 100.
Yeah, I didn't go through and I didn't go through and count or anything, but if the consensus that I've seen is like, yes, it would have been the 100th launch if not for Amos 6, because if you count that as a mission, then it's the 100th mission. But if since it didn't launch, then it's not the 100th launch.
I bet that it for some reason there's always all kinds of confusion with SpaceX. Like, what Starlink mission is this? How many missions is it? Now when we get to 100 landings, dude, wait until that confusion.
Landings don't, whatever. Like,
no. Do you count the Falcon Heavy center core that fell over on the way back?
Exactly. I'm calling it now. That's going to confuse everybody.
It did land. It didn't make it back to port.
Definitely was not.
How many kind of shape? So we'll be at 100 landings, 99 recoveries.
Yeah.
99 boosters returned to port, 100 landings.
I wish it was just as easy as ULA. 100% success rate. That's all you gotta say.
Which CRS was a CRS 17?
16. Harry's saying it's 16. The one that landed in the water.
Yeah,
that too.
Would that consider a landing? But would it consider being a boost that returned to port?
It needs to land on something other than liquid.
But it returned to port, so would it be a sea landing?
I mean,
but not in any kind of shape to be used. Have they used that booster again?
No. They scrapped that.
Yeah. Well, Starhopper.
They probably grabbed the grid fins off of it, and that's about it.
Yeah. That's the most expensive part.
Right.
Yeah.
Expensive, most pain in the ass part.
Well, no, it wasn't a Block 5, right? That was a Block 4, Block or full thrust.
Oh, I think you
so
might
probably
be
use
right.
aluminum.
I think you might be right on that
I
one.
don't think that was a Block 5.
Or for the non-Americans, aluminium.
Aluminium.
No, why are they added a? No, they're adding syllables. It doesn't count.
They are. They are.
They're stupid.
It always bugs me whenever.
Is the best.
It always bugs me whenever I'm watching like Top Gear and Jeremy Clarkson says aluminium.
So
look at you. You're smart man.
It was CRS 16 was booster 1050, and it was a Block 5.
Oh, it was. Okay, so yeah, they definitely took the grid fins. So I think that's the issue that they're having is that they don't have enough grid fins. I think they have less grid fins than boosters. Not all boosters get grid fins.
If the booster wiki on Wikipedia, anybody, if you ever curious about what boosters have done which missions or anything, Google Falcon 9 booster wiki, and you will find this glorious page that has all of the boosters and what their fate was and what missions that they took part in. But
Wikipedia is on point sometimes.
Oh yeah, well it's all statistics, man.
It's just statistics, so it makes it. But like any other Wikipedia, you're like, I don't know about this. But like space Wikipedia, you're like, yeah, like there's the source. Like they almost everyone who writes it sources like cites their sources, which is great.
So this kind of makes me think of a question that somebody posed on Twitter, and I really didn't know how to respond. I did respond, but they were saying, do we have any evidence that they haven't swapped out the engines whenever they reuse boosters?
I don't think we have any evidence of that.
We don't have any evidence,
I don't think we know anything of that.
My response was SpaceX doesn't talk about which engines are being used on which boosters, but my assumption is that they're not putting in new engines because that would defeat the purpose of reusability.
They might, though. We don't know how much they're refurbished either between flights.
And I'm sure that from time to time they probably need to swap an engine. Oh, this one was acting up or whatever, shows signs of extra wear or whatever. Let's take this one out, throw a new one in, or take one from this other booster or whatever.
Because we do know that they're able to be interchangeable. When they implemented the OctaWeb, they made it to where
any engine can be in any position within the OctaWeb, right?
Yep.
And you just got to tell it which position it's in.
It was plug and play pretty much.
You got to tell it.
You really
You're
do.
in the center, so you should be firing.
We need you.
And they probably do rotate them out because that one gets more wear than the outer ones, or whenever they do the 313 stuff, they probably rotate them around for sure.
Yeah.
And the issue, I mean, it doesn't matter how much the engines get reused as long as they're reusing engines.
Right. Yeah, one of the interesting discussions that came up, remember there was a launch not that long ago, a couple months back, where they didn't do a static fire, and it was like,
it was a Starlink.
It's just the one.
It was a Starlink. Yeah.
I thought
it was
one. Don't do static fires for Starlinks, and I was confused why they did it this time.
There's only been one. There's only been one that they haven't done a static fire, and there was some discussion like, why wouldn't they, and whatever. And somebody, I think I was only hearing about another conversation, but somebody made the point, well, static fire adds extra wear and tear because it's the heat cold cycle, because they chill the engine and then it heats up during ignition and then it has to cool back down, and you're adding that extra wear and tear on every engine whenever you do it. So it would kind of make sense to.
It makes sense. If they would just be like, we're not doing it on Starlinks because they're internal missions. Why not if it fails? If there's an issue with the static fire.
Wasn't that also right around the time where the engine supposedly exploded in flight and it didn't land?
Right.
Was it that?
I don't think it was that one. No.
Anybody in chat, can you help us?
But I know that was a Starlink.
But I think the thing about the static fires is, yeah, it may be an internal mission or whatever, but if Falcon 9 blows up, that puts a hold on all Falcon 9s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Falcon even Starlinks.
Yeah, and especially the important ones like Crew.
Oh yeah.
Crew 1 got announced this week, right? As well. End of September.
No.
End of October.
No, October 23rd.
Right.
Yep.
October. So,
yeah.
I did get to apply to that one. Daryl, did you get to apply to that one or no?
No.
Okay, I applied to that one. Me and Zach applied to that one, I think.
Oh.
So.
Sorry, wow.
Sorry, Zach. Hey, Zach, we should probably have him do it. All right, three people. See if three times the luck.
I just want Salcom 1B because up next on my list. Actually, I want. Let's talk about upcoming launches real fast.
Sure.
After Starlink tomorrow, which it's a Starlink. Yay!
Yeah.
After that, NROL. We got a D4 heavy. Seth and I are really fighting about it because we both want to be there.
No, I'm actually decided I'm completely fine being off site for that one.
Because I've never seen one yet. Never.
Yeah.
I've never seen one close. I only saw one from the beach.
You saw Parker.
Yeah. I'm thinking about where I'm gonna do my streak because last time I saw Parker, I didn't have a camera.
See, Steven, I'm with you with what you said on Pressing for Flight the other day. Is for locals like you or folks like me, where Florida's closer, this is theoretically the only chance I'll get at a Delta 4 Heavy.
There's one more Falcon Heavy actually from
Delta 4 Heavy.
Delta.
What did I say?
We're talking Delta.
Did I say Falcon Heavy? My bad.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
There's one more Delta Heavy from Cape. There are actually 5 more. What we talked about? Yes.
Okay, we need to do our homework on them.
There are 2 more than, at least according to what's the app?
The problem is they're NROL missions, so they really don't want to talk about them. Yeah. That's why we're not going to know. Yeah. But as I was saying, I'm with you. If I get a chance to set up something at the pad, I'm worried about what to set stuff at because it's at night.
Yeah.
And I've only helped set up one pad shot. I wasn't even there for it. By the way, thank you for your help with helping us set up.
Helping
out Zach and whatnot.
Right, yeah, for sure.
So if I get a chance to set up, I know what I want for a shot. I just don't know how to set it. And I'm like, damn it. I want to ask somebody, but I don't want to seem like that rookie and whatnot. So
the nice thing is,
as long as you don't walk up to like John Krause and ask rookie questions, I think you're fine.
And for the most part, you can do some test shots against, I don't know, like some really bright street lights or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And one of the things that I'm going to be kind of struggling with is that the flames produced by a Delta are transparent.
Yeah.
The engines themselves glow pretty hot. If you look at the photos, you got the really bright light right at the nozzle, but then the rest of it's transparent.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so there's probably going to be a lot of light around, but it's not going to be as much as a Falcon 9 or an Atlas. It's going to be very different. But the nice thing about shooting in RAW is that if you're close, if you're within a couple of stops, and I mean full stops, like not like third of a stop, but you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to get what you need. And I think, and I could be totally wrong. I'm sure the pros would be like, no, you're stupid. You haven't learned enough yet. But from night to day, it's not a huge difference because the rocket's going to provide all the light.
Yeah.
At night. And now during the day, of course, you've got the sky is actually illuminated and all the other equipment around the pad is going to be illuminated by the sun. But, when a rocket's launching at night, it's going to put off quite a bit of light. You might bump up your settings a little bit, depending on if you're going for engine, the underexposed engine settings, or if you're just trying to illuminate the entire scene.
Well, like I say all the time on the show, and Seth hates it, I'm going to play the law of averages, and I'm going to drop as many cameras as I can at the pad.
And then have different settings for each
one. The law of averages so much.
It works.
And I said, I'm like, or you can just use one camera and get good pictures.
Well, right, but what if you don't have the right settings? And what if you get back to it and you realize
you're completely in the same boat? Like, I want as much photos. For remotes, I'm going to say, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But he does like full speed continuous and just holds down the camera during launches.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I'm like, one, I don't want to go. I've gone through 1,000 photos. I don't want to go through 1,000 photos again. I like going through 200 photos at the max.
Wait. Demo 2, the first day it scrubbed when I was out on the boat with some of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I came back with like 2,700 pictures of a launch that didn't happen.
Oh my god.
I'm like,
I also used a lot of them to put together high-res stitches of the pad and whatnot. I mean, getting that view from the water, you got like the green of the water right in front of the pad. That's not something you see often.
When we were there for March 2020, I set up my camera. I take a test shot of at that point. I'm like, oh, looks good. And I just hear from the back, and I'm like, God, it's fine. It's not moving.
Yeah.
You can just take one photo.
Well, you know, sometimes you move a little. A lot of times that first shot still has a little bit of the motion from you pressing the button. So doing 2 or 3 is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the same boat. Like my hard drive is begging for mercy.
Same.
And so like when there's a booster return, I've become a little bit more choosy. I'm not just constantly firing away. Especially now, that's a thing that kind of happens a little more slowly. And it happens almost the exact same way every time.
And that's not high pressure like a launch is.
Right. Yeah.
With a launch, you've got a minute and a half of good shooting, and then it's just for fun after that.
But one of the things that I've done with the launches, as far as like the handheld, it's like have a couple of spots in the launch where you're ready. You know that your buffer is clear, and like especially when you know that like supersonic is coming up. Be ready to try to at least catch the vapor cone.
Yep.
Or like you get your lift off, but then quickly get it up off the tripod, and then try to get some nice in-flight shots before it gets too far away. Where there's nothing around it. Like the last couple, there was a Falcon 9 and then the Atlas 5. It was Perseverance actually, where I went underexposed. I did basically the engine settings and just brought it out in post, and it turned out great. Like I really loved how that went, because I actually used the same settings that I used for engine shots at the pad. I just used that for handheld. And I was very surprised with the results. Like it turned out great. And I was able to bring up the exposure in post, bring down the highlights, try to balance that out a little bit. So I was able to have the detail in the flame, but still have it look like daylight.
And I used to hate doing stuff in post.
Daryl's like, ooh, I like that.
I used to hate doing stuff in post until I got better at it. Now it's like, okay, what can I do?
Yeah, well, that's another thing Krause said. He's like, photos are made to be edited. And I'm like, I don't feel that. Like you want to try to stay somewhat close to reality. Of course, that isn't reality because your eye does not see the detail in the flame as the rocket's flying.
Yeah.
But, at the same time,
it makes it look prettier. It makes it look way better. When I was doing sunrise photography, it's like, I'll be honest, like sunrises are cool in the morning, but they're not awestruck amazing looking. Take a photo, you change some edits of it, you tweak around the colors, you dehaze it. It looks amazing. Like you just can't not do that to sunrise.
Sell that stuff, man.
Sell it. Seth.Kurk.com. Prints available.
There you go.
Seth.Kurk.com?
SethKurk.com, sorry.
Oh.
I do that. I keep on typing that out too because my email is seth.kurk@gmail.com. And
y'all heard that, everybody. Get them.
That's what's on Twitter and on my Instagram. That's my professional thing. I have a personal one that I don't give out. I have 2 personal ones. I have a Yahoo that's just for spam.
Maybe
if I sign up for something, I just don't. I know they're gonna sell my email to 1 million people. I'm just like, and there's my Yahoo.
We'll hope that you get so big one day that you have to take your email off your Twitter account.
One day, well, yeah, I'm working on hopefully getting I have a domain, Seth Kurk.
Yeah. You missed an opportunity with that. www.seth.kurk.
That's not. You can't do that.
You can't. Can't you have like custom?
Yeah. Wait, maybe you can have.
You can do custom extensions.
No, it would have to be a custom. It would be a Seth. Seth would have to be the extension, and Kurk would have to be the domain.
Yeah, so Seth.Kurk.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
You can leave off the
that doesn't
.com.
roll off. That doesn't. No, you don't. No. But right now, my website just forwards to my SmugMug. I'm actually working on a legit website, so I already got 2 friends lined up. I'm gonna go take some, get practice with like models photography.
So how would you? Okay, so you have a SmugMug, but you said that you're gonna work on a legit website.
Yeah, like one where you can actually like John Krause's.
Well, his is still a SmugMug page.
Yeah, it's a SmugMug page, but it's not like where you just go and it's all of a sudden it's just like all your photos.
Right.
Where you have like a Blaney page where you have an about section, you have a like if you want to, contact me for like doing an event or something.
I think that has more to do with just kind of knowing how to manipulate SmugMug.
Yeah, that's what I gotta look into. Yeah. But
you can really dive deep into it, like code it and everything.
SmugMug has some cool stuff, but I want to see if I gotta see if SmugMug lets you like export your store to another website. Like if I use Squarespace instead.
Oh, where you can like insert it like an iframe. It's probably not the right term anymore, but back in my day with HTML, it was you'd insert an iframe.
Yeah, I know an iframe is. I took a web development class in high school. Yeah.
It's just they probably moved on to something else.
The worst part is that I was gone for a week, and that was the week we learned HTML. And I came back, and we had a week to do a project and like actually make the website, and I didn't know any of it.
I mean, HTML by itself is very simple.
That was my first programming language, though. Like, I didn't know any programming languages before that, and so
me too.
I had to like. It took me the first couple of days to learn the language. At all, it's not a language. It's hypertext. I learned real programming languages in college.
Right. Yeah. Where you can make the computer do things.
Yeah. Well, you can do things with HTML and
yeah.
CSS and JavaScript.
But but HTML by itself is basically put this here, lay it out like this. And then I'm going to put some real code in this box to make it.
And then I want to make it look pretty, so that's where you use CSS.
Right.
And then you want to make it actually functional and you use JavaScript. Or if you're really savvy enough, you use Swift, which is what you use on iOS apps.
Is that like Swift cheese?
No, it's a programming language called Swift. I wish it was like
it's one of those. It's one of those things up in Wisconsin.
Swift cheese.
Straight out of Palo Alto, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they package it in bags.
Palo Alto's in California.
Oh man! So as far as the rest of the space stuff goes, we've really off track today. This has been a great episode.
I hear history is going to be made tomorrow.
6 launch booster, right?
Yeah.
Booster.
Yeah.
Booster.
Luther Vandross.
What?
Great singer from back in the day.
Oh, you're so old. All right.
Get off my lawn.
Okay. We need to get you like a toy Emerald Grand so you can just be like, get off my lawn, and just pull it out from like nowhere with a little orange tip on it too and everything. It's so adorable. Totes adorable.
Totes adorbs.
God, we said the same thing at the same time. Oh, Julia was right. We will be roommates one day.
Oh God. Oh.
You're looking forward to it.
That was after we had Julia. She goes, you two should definitely move in. You're going to move in one day together. It's going to be great.
This is how murder mystery episodes start.
We were best friends until we decided to move in.
Yes. Zach,
soon,
old man yells at Cloud.
Until batshit got crazy.
Yep. But no, 6 booster launch tomorrow. Fifth. Number 6.
Yeah.
If it happens, because space flight.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then after that, like we were talking about, we got a NROL with a Delta Heavy, and then good old Cellcom 1B, and RTLS.
Right.
RTLS.
Oh, finally, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's gonna be good.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I don't care where I see that from.
It's been so long. I haven't seen one since what was it? STP2.
Wow.
I've only seen Falcon Heavies land at the Cape. I've never seen a single booster RTLS.
I saw that, and I saw CRS-20 at night, and I completely bombed those pictures. Holy crap!
I think
I
kind
of did too. Yeah.
Who?
I kind of did too.
CRS-20.
Yeah. I got to do the thing where we went out to the old. What was the name of that rocket? The Navajo rocket. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The one that launched had like the little wings on the side, and
it launched vertical, but
did it launch? I thought it launched it like at an angle still.
No, I don't think so. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I just I don't know. My settings were bad. I was trying to do settings for like engine. I like that underexposed engine setting was not accounting for the fact that there's really not a lot of other stuff to reflect light back onto the booster. Yeah. So the booster is just in total darkness, although you can see the flame. And so I should have just gone with something a more wide open, just exposed like normal, let the flame be blown out.
I had problems focusing. Like I don't know if it was because it was at night or something. Like I manually focused. Yeah, everything I was using could not focus it at all that night. 3 cameras going. I tried a streak. I tried a video in infrared with one of my astrophotography filters just because, and then I had my main shooter, nothing in focus. No idea why. And then you couldn't even hear anything because the wind was so bad. That was like what? That was like February or March or something like that when it was still really windy out there and a bit of a chill and everything like that.
Yep.
It completely blew out the sound on everything.
So and then I also was I took Cosmic Perspectives high-speed camera out there with me, and there was nothing to use as a reference of where to point. And I told him, I was this is Ryan Chelinsky and Mary Liz Bender for any of y'all follow them on Twitter or whatever. But I said, hey, I'm doing this thing, because there was only a handful of us that got selected to do it. It was like a drawing thing, and I was like, if you want, I'll take your high-speed camera. And they're like, oh, absolutely. And of course, I get out there, and there's nothing. There's no like floodlights pointing up or anything to be like, oh, that's where the landing pad is. So I kind of I zoomed out a little bit where I thought that it's got to be at least between here and here. And I caught it, but it was like off to the right side of the frame and, not centered up at all. And then of course, when the sonic boom hit, someone's car alarm started going off. Like it sounded great and it sounded so good. And then the sonic boom, and then someone's car alarm started going off, and that was,
if you ever see anything from the 39 gantry, you're gonna hear alarms going off, especially a Falcon 90. Those suckers are loud. Yeah. Just a single stick, obnoxiously loud. And I have videos. You hear it going, and it already set off a car alarm, and then it keeps getting louder and getting louder. It drowns out the car alarm. It drowns out the shutter on my camera because you can hear that the whole time. You can see it shaking the video whenever it's flipping. Completely drowns it out. It's obnoxious. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, that's the big 3 coming up, and all of those before the end of the month too.
And the big thing about the Salcom is if you don't have media access and stuff, Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral, the beach in Cape Canaveral, are going to be great places to watch this because it's going to go south down the coast, and I don't know for sure about the volume, but I would expect it to give anybody that's south of the pads a much better show, like because there's a certain sound to the rumble of these rockets that you don't get unless you're within a few miles. Like if you're at the Apollo Center and you're watching a launch from 39A, you can hear it. It's that pop, the crackle, the like the popcorn. But lately you can't do that, and so pretty much anywhere that you can watch from as just general public is going to be at least 10 miles away, and you get the rumble, but you don't get that popcorn thing. Yeah, but you might, since it's coming south towards us, towards Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, you might get to actually hear that.
I think that depends on how close it's going to stay to the coast, because it's going to go off the coast first and then dogleg to the south. Right. If I understand right. Like it's going to start off going that general direction, but once it gets more over water, then it's going to hook. Right. I got to look it up, but I'm not sure how close it's going to be. But no, I know what you're saying, especially also, that rumble that kind of lingers for a while.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that.
And it's also, how high up in the atmosphere is it going to be when it comes this far south? But I do know that one of the reason
Harry
well,
just mentioned just
Harry's
wait till
right,
New Glen. I'm like, oh, that's right, New Glen's
oh yeah,
crazy.
yeah, you'll get it. Yeah, you'll get that from Jetty with New Glen.
Yes.
But I do know that the Salcom had to be delayed until after the Enroll launch because of the trajectories, because it's going south. So that kind of tells me that it's going to start south fairly quickly. Because if they're concerned about it overflying 37, not that it's going to fly directly over 37 where Delta Heavy is, but more that like if it were to explode and spray out, then it's going to be close enough to affect it.
I wonder how close to the coast that exclusion zone will be south of the pad, like by the beach.
Oh.
Because I had an idea of like, well, what if...
You might be able to get it like between the beach and that exclusion zone.
Like, just getting off the coast a little bit will get you a better view of the landing pad.
Yeah.
On a boat.
But you'd have to go like way on the other side of it.
How far out? Well, just off the...
North. Go like northeast of it.
Yeah, but would that be better than... You mean, for this launch, you want to be south.
I mean, really, a boat is one thing, but a little known secret that I feel like I've said enough that it may not be little known enough these days, but Jetty Park is not the best place to watch a landing from. Cherry Down Park is the best place because when the booster touches down, you can still see it. You're a little bit further away. And you can walk north a little bit from Cherry Down, but you can still see it. Whereas you could be on the pier at Jetty Park, and it gets down and it drops below those trees or the bushes or whatever.
You're talking about like the very end of the pier?
Yeah, even the very end of the pier. You can't see. There's one spot on the pier that if you get in just this right spot, there's like a cutaway of the bushes and trees and stuff, and you can kind of make out the top of it. But from Cherry Down Park, you can see like the top half, I think.
Most of the pier in the park you can't see. I know you can't see the park at all because of the hill that's there.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I was thinking, like, well, a boat up further north, like how far out to the coast can you get before you get to an exclusion zone? And are they just going to shut down that entire, not the beach, but like at least that all that water line?
Right.
Which would suck. And then imagine they shut down the beach.
No.
There's no way they can, but like it's a big beach. But
plus you got like residences right on the beach line, so you can't exactly tell people go away. That's why they're doglegging it out over the water and going south.
Is this launching from 40 or from 39?
I'm not sure.
I think it's 40.
Either one. They still want it. It could still take it over.
It would make sense to do 40 because that's further out more.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and that's away from. Then you're not flying over, like 4 pads. You're only flying over like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because 40 is the furthest south as far as those.
You only be flying
39A, 41, and 40.
You wouldn't have to worry about Atlas and then the Atlas. Well, actually, no. You wouldn't have to worry about the Atlas pad and probably not the Delta pad because you're further east than the Delta pad. The only one would be like the New Glen pad, but I mean. They're pretty good builders out there, so I think they're fine.
I want to see that.
They can rebuild.
I want to see that onboard camera footage from that one, because just like the entire time looking back down, you just see the land turning away, and then it turns, and
that's gonna be interesting. So,
it is.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
wait
gonna
to
be one to go back and watch the webcast, even if you saw it in person, for sure.
I'd do that with all of them anyway.
I used to do that with every single one, and it wasn't by choice or anything. It was just like I just started forgetting. Like I just get home and then I got to do my photos, whatever.
And then I got to go to sleep.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I know the pain so much because I have to do a 2.5 hour drive before I get to edit my photos. Sometimes I don't even get to edit my photos before I crash.
I get to drive 10.
Delta. Well, you. So I need to
do them
you
there.
Usually get a hotel.
Yeah.
Delta 4 is gonna be interesting. I'm not sure if I'm gonna take a day off or not.
You should, man.
I don't know if I'm gonna. Well, it's during the middle of the night, and I've done 1 a.m. How long is the window? Is it 3 hours? 2 hours?
Doesn't matter.
Because it depends.
Get the
because
time
it's
off,
man. Because it's a Delta 4 heavy. Who knows? Oh yeah. Then I can do sunrise. I haven't done a sunrise photo in a long time.
Dude, like my buddy's son told me a long time ago, Suffer for your art. Yeah. Get out there and get those pictures, man. Suffer for your art.
Hey, I suffer for my art because I need paychecks and I drive back home. Okay?
Well,
I've done all-nighters where I've driven up for a launch and then back down for a launch. I've pulled a 12-hour day.
Don't betray Team No Sleep.
I took a half day of work.
Don't betray Team No Sleep, man. Get your butt up there.
What do you mean betray? I am Team No Sleep. I would drive. That's why I was like, I don't know how long the window is because let's be honest, it's a Delta for it. It's a Delta Heavy.
Yeah.
Is it going to launch on the first attempt?
No, that bombshell.
Are we gonna have a reap? I don't want to jinx it, but I mean, are we gonna? I mean, Parker.
I mean, it rarely does, right? How many scrubs did Parker do?
One.
Oh, just one.
Okay. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's not bad.
But I mean, how many? Wait, what was the last? They launched a Heavy last year from the Cape, or was that from Vandenberg?
From the Cape or from Vandenberg.
Okay. Vandenberg. The last one from the Cape was Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one last year. How often did that scrub? Did that scrub at all?
Oh, that was the one from Vandenberg. Was I want to say it was like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
it was a few.
I'm still surprised that dates hold. It's a week out, and I'm surprised the dates hold.
It's a week out.
Sorry, a week and a half.
Yeah.
It's a week and a half.
Not a week. Well, I mean, week and 2 days.
Oh, wait,
I mean,
it's Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, right?
Oh.
No, I think it's Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
Okay. Ooh. Freaking me out. I gotta order stuff. I gotta spend some money.
I gotta rent my car.
And on that bombshell.
So yeah, we are about an hour in, and we should probably try to keep to an hour so we don't bore our people too often. Well, no one watches, so that's fine.
I see people watching.
They love us.
No, those are fake people.
They love us.
You hear that? You hear that, folks? That's unbelievable.
I love everybody watching. Seth does not.
Of course, everyone check out Steven over on Press for Flight on Thursday nights at 10 p.m.
And hey, if you want some beautiful prints to put on your wall, spacecoaststeve.com.
That was the most beautiful voice ever. That touched my heart. Also, you have another podcast Wednesday nights, is it? Verbal Assault?
Yes, Verbal Assault with my Tennessee friends.
That one's
a fun show.
I watched that one.
It's interesting.
That's interesting.
It's very different.
It is very different. Yes, I would agree.
Y'all got me hooked on sumo wrestling.
It's good, dude. Yeah, sumo is fun. Yeah, sumo is awesome.
I mean, you got to flip your sleep schedule for it, but it is fun.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fun to watch.
And of course, you can find me and Daryl on Twitter. There are links in the description. Steven's on the bottom in the link description. I mean, if you guys are watching, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. If you're listening, thank you so much for listening. Leave a review. That helps us out greatly. And we'll see you guys all next week.
Peace.
Bye. Glad you got to see me.